Music fades in. Welcome to City Pages to Soundscapes, the show that turns guidebook pages into immersive audio tours. I'm your host, and today we're taking an exciting journey through some of Madrid's greatest art treasures. That's right. Our episode today is titled Exploring the Prado's Collection, a walking tour through art history. By the end of our 10 minutes together, you'll have a vivid picture of the Prado Museum's royal origins, recognize its major painting schools, and even weave a lovely route through the nearby Museo Thyssen-Bornemisza, the Centro de Arte Reina Sofia, and the stunning Parque del Retiro. Then out, let's start at the beginning. The Prado's royal roots. The Prado Museum's importance truly stems from its royal collections, which have been built up over centuries by Spain's monarchs who acquired masterpieces from all over Europe.
So, quite literally, when you walk through the Prado, you're walking through the history of not just art, but also political power. Spain's empire once stretched across the Low Countries and parts of Italy, and these artworks serve as a testament to those times.
Absolutely. As you stand in the grand halls of the museum, it's like stepping into a visual record of an empire, filled with portraits, mythological dramas, and religious scenes, all speaking to the power and influence of the Spanish crown. Now, let's delve into Spanish painting highlights. Starting with the very soul of the Prado, the Spanish paintings encapsulate the heart of Spain's art history. Up until the 19th century, Spanish art was heavily focused on themes of religion and royalty, reflected in everything from early Gothic panels to dramatic Counter-Reformation altarpieces.
One stunning example is El Greco's The Adoration of the Shepherds. The elongated, swirling figures, illuminated by supernatural light, showcase his Mannerist style. It's less about realism and more about conveying a deep spiritual urgency, isn't it?
Precisely. And moving through time, we encounter Diego Velázquez, the court painter to King Philip IV. His ability to marry technical brilliance with psychological depth culminates in the famous painting Las Meninas. You can almost feel the atmosphere of the royal studio as it blurs the line between viewer and subject.
And let's not forget Francisco de Goya. His early days were spent creating elegant portraits, but as he matured as an artist, his work soon plunged into the raw emotions of war and human cruelty. You can feel the heartbreak in pieces like the 3rd of May, 1808, and his haunting black paintings. They reveal a Spain haunted by the darker sides of conflict and superstition.
Now, the Prado is not solely about Spanish art. Let's explore the Italian, Flemish, and Dutch masters. The Italian collection, for example, is filled with dramatic Renaissance and Baroque canvases by legendary artists such as Botticelli, Titian, Tintoretto, and Veronese. Their works are vibrant expressions of classical myths and religious stories, often rich in color and dramatic compositions.
In a nearby gallery, the mood shifts as we enter the realms of the Flemish and Dutch painters. Here we find Rogier van der Weyden's emotional religious scenes and the fantastical visions of Hieronymus Bosch. Pieces like The Temptation of St. Anthony and The Haywain are dense with allegory and meaning, inviting viewers to linger.
You'll also encounter masterpieces from altarpiece artist Peter Paul Rubens. Known for his opulent color and muscular forms, works such as The Adoration of the Magi evoke a sense of grandeur, reflections of royal patronage in every brushstroke.
The French and German sections complement this panorama, showcasing lively portraits by Albrecht Dürer alongside elegant Rococo pieces that epitomize a taste for delicacy and refinement. Together, these collections give a peek into how Spanish monarchs collected and compiled a truly pan-European overview of artistic styles.
Now, from the Prado, let's step outside for a short walk to the Museo Thyssen-Bornemisza. Originally a private collection, it now presents an almost continuous timeline of Western art from early Renaissance to 20th century works, including styles like Impressionism and Post-Impressionism.
Ah yes, and on the ground floor, you'll find modern and contemporary masterpieces, such as Picasso's Harlequin with a Mirror and Edward Hopper's evocative Hotel Room. These works shift the focus from traditional religious narratives to more personal explorations of psychology and urban solitude.
A little farther along stands the Centro de Arte Reina Sofia, housed in a former hospital, which focuses mainly on 20th century and contemporary Spanish art. It's here that you can trace the evolution of artists like Picasso, Salvador Dali, Juan Miró, and Eduardo Chillida, from Cubism and Surrealism to modern abstraction and sculpture.
And when it comes to highlight pieces at the Reina Sofia, nothing captures more attention than Picasso's monumental canvas, Guernica. This powerful work was created in response to the 1937 bombing of the Basque town of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War.
Exactly. Through fragmented figures, wailing faces, and broken bodies, Picasso captures a chaotic scream of anguish that speaks universally to the horrors of war. It's fascinating how Guernica traveled for decades before finding a permanent home in Spain, becoming a potent symbol of suffering and resistance.
Seeing it after browsing the grandeur of the Prado galleries reinforces a shift in 20th century art, as artists pivoted away from glorifying power and began bearing witness to its abuses, focusing instead on the human condition. It's truly a reflective moment.
To wrap up our artistic journey, let's stroll through the lush Parque del Retiro, which once formed part of a royal palace complex. It's now one of Madrid's most cherished public spaces.
Set against a backdrop of serene waters and vibrant trees, the park's boating lake and grand sculptures invite locals and visitors alike to row or stroll leisurely in the afternoon sun.
And don't forget to check out the beautiful exhibition spaces like the Palacio de Velázquez and the glass-walled Palacio de Cristal. Originally built as show pavilions, they now host contemporary art installations, creating a beautiful bridge between nature and modern artistic expression. Returns.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Exploring the Prado's collection. Next time you open a guidebook to Madrid, let these voices and vistas guide your steps from gallery to gallery. Imagine absorbing the artistry of the Prado in person and concluding your day under the enchanting light of the Parque del Retiro.